G'day guys, just going to do a little bit of a demonstration for everyone about thinking about a concept that we use at Positive Real Estate all the time, is the migration of money. And what does that mean around Australia? Let me try and draw an Australia. Here it's might be a little bit of a dodgy one, but still looks alright. A lot of people say it looks like a bit of a tooth, but hey, you know, I reckon it looks like Australia. And there you have it. You've got Australia, you've got Victoria, Northern Territory and South Australia, you got New South Wales, and you got Canberra in the middle here. And let's talk about the Australian property market, because not every single piece of real estate in Australia goes up and down in value at the same time. We know that markets go up, we know that markets go down, and you know, we have a cycle that we need to, as property investors, be aware of and be able to take advantage of in the Australian marketplace. The reason I love the Australian marketplace, it's a simple place. It's got 7 areas, 7 states, and then you can drill down into each of those areas fairly reasonably, get the good information, and make some good financial investment decisions based around, you know, what you're trying to do at the time. You know, what type of investment is good in what cycle in the marketplace. For example, if you want the market, the capital growth from the marketplace to give you value or add value to your properties, well, you've got to find a state that has the economic factors and the things that are going to send that property in the growth direction, or get the property to grow in value. And so let me just show you a bit of an example of how we at Positive Real Estate coach our mentoring clients on a daily basis, a yearly basis, a monthly basis, how to take advantage of the marketplace, the Australian marketplace, and work the markets as we go around. So for example, a few years ago, I'll start with an example, a true example of how we rolled with the market a few years ago. Everyone remembers a little place called Perth, right? And Perth had a very, very good economic situation where there was lots of mining, lots of jobs being created, and the property market in Perth hadn't grown significantly in quite a while. So we said, okay, well, Perth looks good. We're going to buy in Perth, and we're going to invest some of our dollars in the Perth market, okay? What happened in Perth? The property values went up, and they went up significantly. And that's fantastic. And we rode our, and we believe we picked the market around about here, and we rode the market upwards. And sometimes you pick it a little bit early and it dips a little bit, but usually that takes anywhere between 3 to 5 years. Sometimes you can make it a bit shorter, between 1 and 3, 1 in 3 years, you know, that would be nice if you can always guess at 1 in 3. But this is what happened for us in the Positive Real Estate gang. We bought properties in Perth, in WA, and we did really well. And when the properties got to the point where we thought it was time to move our money, or what we call migrate our money, we call it the migration of money, we decided to look for the next opportunity. And 2 opportunities presented themselves, or two states presented themselves. One was Adelaide. It had some mining excitement going on, and the other one was Melbourne. And Melbourne hadn't grown in a long time, and the yields were better than they'd ever been, and etc., etc. So what we did is we said to our clients, we said, you need to either sell, okay, and sometimes we've got to sell as investors, but not always. Quite often it's easier or more productive to refinance our properties and get some of our equity, and then we take that equity and move it to another market. So what did we do? We took some of our money from Perth and we shifted that money, okay, either in via a refinance or a sale, and we invested some of our money in the next marketplace, okay. Now just remember, as investors, we're making good decisions. We might have bought discounts, we might have bought renovation properties, we might have bought stratas or subdivisions, we might have bought just blue chip properties to hold and keep, and because, you know, we didn't have the time to add the value ourselves. Whatever we did, we're chasing a market as well as looking for a good deal when we buy. And so we bought those properties in Adelaide and Melbourne. Perth went through the roof. Adelaide went up fantastically, and yeah, if you've been listening, what happened in Melbourne, Melbourne went up as well. So within a 3-year period, we ran really well in Perth. We got some good value there. We then hopped across to Adelaide, and then we hopped across to Melbourne, and literally followed the market and made our money grow using the marketplace as well as choosing good quality investments. And so then what happened is, as Melbourne and Adelaide, we saw that they were peaking out or starting to become unfeasible for getting discounts or negotiating well. We decided it was time to move to another marketplace. And a couple of years ago, the marketplace was Sydney. Sydney had done nothing for many, many years. It was feeling a bit depressed, a bit discounted. And we started buying really well in Sydney, bought massive discounts. And what's happened in the last couple of years in Sydney, since sort of early 2009, we've had some fantastic growth in the right areas in Sydney, some great capital growth, and some great rental increases, fantastic rental increases. And so if you can see, we've migrated our money every 1 or 2, 1.5, 2 years into a different place. And so instead of waiting, the general concept that property prices will double in value every 7 to 10 years, we've now doubled or tripled our equity in 7 years, or just under 7 years. It was 5 years. Those 3 migrations of money, movements of our money to Sydney, and we've capitalised on capital growth, and we've capitalised on market buying opportunity as well. And so as investors, instead of just staying in one spot, we've got some benefits of market momentum. And so another benefit or another bonus of investing in different states at different times is that that land tax is a state-based tax. So land tax is something that you want to minimise. Want to minimise all tax effectively and legally. And so land tax is a state-based tax, and you are able to minimise your land tax by buying in different states. Okay, and there's ways to minimise that even further when you buy in, your partner's name or your name, or you buy in company trust structures and whatever. And so I'll have a chat to your accountant about that. But so the idea is then, maybe the next part, and we were just looking just before the unfortunate incidents of the floods in Queensland. Sydney's still strong. Sydney's a great place to invest right now. There's lots and lots of economic data around Sydney that's going to cause value increases and also increases in your rental yield. But southeast Queensland, specifically Brisbane, not the Gold Coast at this point in time, but the Brisbane area was looking very good for the next stop for some money. And so you wouldn't go anywhere near Darwin right now because Darwin's peaked and about to have quite a chill out. It's flattening out. Perth maybe in the next sort of 12, 18 months because the mining's rebooted and going quite nicely. We might sort of nip back into Perth. But some of the areas right now that are really interesting are, your north of Sydney, which is like your Newcastles, and south is your Wollongongs. And so we've got that ripple effect happening in Sydney. But here's the concept, guys. You don't leave your equity and money staying in one place for 7 to 10 years. If you want to work it harder and faster, and you want to make it sort of, a 1 to 3 year plan rather than a sort of a 7 to 10 year plan, you work your money. We call it migration of money, and work your money harder as an investor, and make sure that you pick the right markets at the right times. Anyway, that's a bit of a concept that we use with all of our mentoring clients. If you want to find out what mentoring is from Positive Real Estate, check out the website, obviously, www.positiverealestate.com.au, and check out the mentoring page, and you might be able to catch up and chat to one of our professional mentoring coaches around Australia and have a chat to see if it might fit what you're looking for. Anyway, that's it for now, and speak to you again next time I do one of these presentations. Thanks.